What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So if you remember from the first part of this episode, we were mucking out down at the pig and beef. We also have to feed them, and I'm not sure if they need straw or not, but if they do, we'll bring them some of that. It took a little longer than I expected, so hence the part two. I didn't realize how much muck was actually in there. And of course, my du jour trailer that I used to haul muck around only holds 17,000 liters, 17 tons. So it's going to be a couple of trips. The other thing I wanted to do was sell my milk, because if you look over there on the animal HUD, you can see I have nearly 11,000 liters of milk that needs to be sold, as it does every morning. I couldn't do it in the very beginning because DeKalb doesn't really accept milk much before about 5:45 in the morning, because they have to give their guys a chance to get in there and, get their testing equipment and everything set up, because the milk has to be tested for antibiotics, for contaminants, for dirt, and anything like that. And if they find any of that stuff, they'll reject the milk. Luckily, I don't have any of those issues, so we should be all set. And as you can see, my fuel light in the Kloss is still blinking because I just cannot be bothered to remember to bring it over there to bring it over to the main farm to fill it up. So we're going to go ahead and grab the milk here, bring it over to DeKalb, get that sold, and then head back to the pig and beef with the case and the tipper and finish mucking out. And then we're going to come back and feed the animals. So here we are at episode 99, guys, 99. And it dawned on me not too long ago that we have now officially been on Old Ridge for more than a year in real life. February 7th of 2015 was the first episode that I released of Old Ridge. Here we are, nearly 100 episodes later, a full year and some odd of real time, and I cannot thank you guys enough for your support, for your continuing commitment to this farm, for, like I keep saying, for everybody who's jumped in and helped make the story what it is, help make Old Ridge a real live place. It really is more than anything, really, a persistent world now. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. That I went 35 episodes on Bjornholm, I went a few on Amagaur, a couple on Waldekar. I've kind of jumped around on a lot of maps, but I've always come back to Old Ridge, and there's a simple reason for that. Old Ridge is awesome, as you guys know. It's regardless of the level of detail and the level of quality of maps that have come out recently, this was the first Farming Simulator 15 map that came out that was really good. It was optimized well. It had all the features you needed. You know what I mean? And of course, over time, I have made edits to it. I have changed things about the map, to suit either my way of farming or to make it more my own, I guess. Adding soil mod, moving some buildings around, adding some buildings, adding some things. And then of course, David Oldfield kicking off the whole storyline, and Mike and Sean, picking it up and running with it. JD Vlogger, Ian Blake, guys like that. Chad, who has become my dealer. Nick Chrisford, who's, my seed rep and is a constant, source of support for me on this farm. All of you guys, Thomas Dean, everybody who's come along and, commented and wanted to be part of the story. That means a lot to me, guys. And that's why this Let's Play has gone for so long. And, as I say all the time, it doesn't show any signs of stopping. You guys keep wanting to see it. I certainly keep wanting to play on the map. And as long as you guys want to see it, I'll keep recording on it. So, but let's go ahead and get this milk sold in my slightly edited milk facility here. That makes it a lot easier to back in. It's still not, sort of drive-through, but it's a lot easier than it was, assuming, of course, I can back up, which is always a trick for me. Nope, that's not going to work. It's a little awkward having to come in here and then swing around the way I do, but there was no other way to get this building to fit in here, so. And I still need to move these triggers, but in order to do that, I would need to get rid of this building for a minute to get rid of the triggers, so if I brought up this, it would be helpful. There we go, sell milk, awesome. That's a few $1,000 more, not much, again, milk is, the price of milk is ridiculously low, but okay, it is what it is. It's a source of revenue, so gives me a chance to take a sip of my coffee. There we go. Oh, $82,000. So we made about $9,000 off the milk, which again, 10,000 liters of milk, $9,000. Okay, I'll take it, I guess. At some point, this Kloss is going to run out of fuel, and I'm going to be just completely nailed. I need to bring this back. But every time I go to get in the middle of something, I'm like, oh, I got to do this first, and this thing needing fuel is sort of low on the priority list, so. But I will get it over there, because obviously, come springtime, I'll be using it a lot for cultivation and whatnot, so. So official word has come down now about the watering. We are allowed to water twice this coming season per crop type. So again, that's going to require some thought about when we're going to water. I'm right now sort of leaning towards a good irrigation right after we seed everything, and then sort of monitoring the situation and watering again towards the end of the growth cycle to sort of help maximize the yields. That's what I'm leaning towards. We'll see how that actually goes come the growing season, but that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. You may have also noticed that I put up a kind of a little thing on the Facebook page. Back up, BP, come on. About my manure usage. Now, I was looking up, somebody had mentioned something about, having to have auxiliary tanks if you have too much manure and things. And actually, that was Jasper, my friend Jasper. I really appreciate that. Man, thanks for the information. And it got me thinking about, what I'm supposed to do with my slurry, with my manure. And so I looked it up. I looked up some UK regulations, and I found a really cool sort of like worksheet about where, how you're supposed to spread, where you're supposed to spread, where you're not supposed to spread, things like that. And it was really cool. And so I drew up a little map using that worksheet. Again, I had to guess on some things because there's some things on that the game just doesn't know, and I came up with a plan, a little color-coded map and a color-coded plan of what where I'm going to spread, where I'm not going to spread, where I can spread sometimes and where I can't spread sometimes. So it should be pretty cool. Come spring here when we get ready to start spreading manure, start spreading slurry and things like that. So just trying to move towards, maybe more accurate, farming techniques, I guess. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards with this. Again, you're always going to see stuff from me that makes you go, huh? But, for the most part, for this map, I am trying to be as maybe technically accurate as possible. So, like not stopping at, the end of roads and using my turn signals and things like that. Technically accurate, right? So, but anyway, let's go back down here to the pig and beef facility on this suddenly very foggy day here in Old Ridge, 6 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be cloudy today, but it's not supposed to rain. So rain has not really been an issue, so far this year. As far as, lack of it, there has been a lot of rain in the area. So even if it's not been falling, directly on the valley. So there's been a lot of, groundwater increase and whatnot. So we should, the water restrictions this year are still going to be a little tight, but hopefully that will all balance itself out going forward into the next coming season. So, again, as a farmer, you're always looking ahead, but you don't want to look so far ahead. I want to get through this growing season, this upcoming growing season, and then we can worry about the next one. The other thing I want to do is take a good hard look at my crop rotation and try to figure out what's going to bring in the maximum amount of profit. It's not always about the biggest yield, you know what I mean? Yield is great, but it's more about profit, What's going to make me the most money with the least amount of work, with the maximum amount of efficiency? That's what I got to look at. It does me no good to plant something that costs a ton of money to plant, costs a ton of money to maintain, and then, makes me back a smaller amount of money. Canola, it really jumps to mind for that sort of reason. Canola is very expensive to plant, and it's, the yield is not great, even though the prices are high. For the most part, canola brings in a good amount of money, but when you balance it out with what it actually costs to plant and maintain it to get it to its maximum yield, I don't know if it's 100% worth it or not. I know I want to plant more barley this year, mostly for straw, I know I want to go into planting some winter crops next season, probably a couple of fields of winter barley just for straw, which I will swath, so I never run out of straw again, because that's getting to be a problem. So, all right, let's jump out of that. And do we tab or do we run? Let's just run. This may be a longer episode. Again, with the 20-minute thing, I'm not trying, I'd like to, let me just run through that muck. I need to fill that hole in. It's always a balancing act with me. I'd love to make these videos all exactly 20 minutes, but it's not always possible, So sometimes you're going to get longer videos, and I want to thank everybody for the comments, and everything about the videos, about, hey, don't worry about making them 20 minutes long, we like them no matter what, and especially Martin Garner, who brought up a very good point. the trend on YouTube lately seems to be shorter videos, and I fully understand why, because, people are subscribing to more and more people. They want to watch more videos, and I certainly do. But with certain games, it's very hard to get things done in a 20-minute time frame. And I agree with him when he says it's better to make a slightly longer video and get things done, than it is to make a 20, stick to just a rigid 20-minute time limit and never actually get anything done and have to make multiple parts of videos and things like that. Harvest time obviously is always going to be multiple parts. Groundwork and things like that are going to be multiple parts because that takes a long time. But and he brought up another valid point too, that it's it's easy enough now to sort of pause your video or leave it when you want to go do something else and then go back and watch the rest of it later. So I'm not going to worry so much about the 20-minute time limit. I'm going to try, but I can't guarantee that it'll always be that way. So, all right, let's see. We did this the first time in the cab. Can we continue to do it in the cab? As long as like I said, as long as I see that little green number on the HUD go up, I'm happy. All right, very good. I like to do stuff in the cab as much as I can, especially with a steering wheel. It's funny, we were talking about this in the last multiplayer that me and Shawnee B and Mirrorman did. We were talking about, now that we all have, steering wheels and everything, that it's a lot more immersive to play inside the cab. And to be honest, it's a lot easier to drive with a steering wheel in sort of first-person mode as opposed to, third-person. Sometimes your sort of perspective gets a little screwed up, in third-person, so... This is one job where I kind of wish I could use my mirrors, and I could turn the graphics up so that the mirrors come on, but again, if that's the only reason I want to turn my graphics up, I don't really need them that much. A lot of tractors, the mirrors are not positioned particularly great. They're sort of they're pretty, but they're not really functional. I don't know about this thing because I've never tried to use them, but I know most of the in-game mirrors are not. I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them are not great. But this thing has a lot of mirrors on it. It would be cool to be able to use them, but again, I'm not going to worry about that so much that it really affects my my video quality, All right, I think that's all the manure in both of those sheds now, I believe. Let's just make sure real quick. Oh, yeah, see, no rain on the forecast. So, okay, again, it's not so much of an issue now. We've had a lot of rain in areas around the valley, so we're okay with that. Let's see. One more BP. 22 and 0. Okay, and now we have to go over to the pigs and get all that. Wow, there's 26,000 liters of manure, over 26,000 liters of manure in those pits. So, whoops, backwards. Can we not smash into the Dizor? I mean, she's not new, but I don't want to break her either. So, considering she's pretty much my go-to tipper for things like this. Oh, excuse me. Where am I going? Where am I going? I don't know why I thought I could go through that way when I know I can't. You know what, BP? You can swing your head around, man. Move your mouse once in a while. I don't know. I get so focused on like staring straight out the windshield that I forget to move my mouse around so I can look around. Four-wheel steer. Boy, that's awesome. Didn't even have to go through the hedge. I would dearly love to move that hedge, but I really can't move any more hedges. I don't want to take down any more habitat, for the animals. That's just not, the hedges provide not only a windbreak and a sort of a boundary, but they provide habitats for, for various animals and things, birds and mice and things like that. And I don't want to take that away. So, because, ultimately, regardless of whatever else I am a steward of this land. So it's important to me that sort of stuff gets maintained. All right, now we will jump out of this, and I think we'll tab, because I'm lazy. Even though it'll take longer to tab than it will to actually, because for some reason tabbing with my game lately takes a long time. But okay, it is what it is. So, geez, BP, you could have just walked over there. Would have took less time. Yes, it would have. We'll bring this over, and we'll clean out these two sheds, and then, of course, that's going to be a trip, probably 2 trips, actually, because this thing's already, mostly full, so. Oh, swing, swing, swing. Good job. Didn't hit the fence, and I didn't hit the hedge. probably 2 trips back and forth from the dairy to dump this stuff. And then we can come back with the mix wagon and feed them, and I'll check to see if they need straw or anything like that. I don't know for certain, but we will find out. You know, again, these animals don't use a lot of stuff, so this is one case of, you know, filling it up and it lasts, you know, more than a day, say. So all right, now where is this tipper? Turn. There we go. Whoop, whoop. That's not good. Tipper's too high. I can't quite see where the bucket is. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. See why I have to keep this in 4-wheel steer? I'd never be able to do this with just front-wheel steer. You know, there's a reason these things steer four wheels like this, so I'm certainly going to take advantage of that. There we go. This will probably put it up over 50%. So, well, it definitely will put it up over 50%. And I could dump a little faster too, I suppose, huh? 67%. Well, okay. You know, again, as many trips as it takes, I'll certainly take all the muck I can get. You know, because even though I always say, oh, I've got so much muck now, and I think my muck problem is over, but you know, you'll probably discover, as I will, that, you know, we'll start spreading it, and we'll get, you know, 2 fields done, and it'll all be gone, and I'll be like, oh my God, how did I go through that much muck already? You know, there was some formulas on that that PDF file that I downloaded from the UK Safe Manure Plan site, I think it's called. That, you know, told you how much muck you're actually supposed to spread, you know, on your acreage, you know, depending on where you are, if you're in a nitrate zone or whatever. But it's difficult to sort of make that happen in the game, you know, because there's no variable rate, you know, and that would be a neat mod too if somebody could make that, you know, make it so that you could actually vary the rate that manure comes out of the spreaders, or, you know, slurry comes out of the sprayer, you know. I don't know how that would work, but it would be neat if you could do it. I should probably boom out a little bit so I get it in the trailer. There we go. So I can't really follow that thing, you know, completely. But I can, you know, I can try. I can do, you know, what I can do within the framework of the game to make it a little bit more realistic. So, because I always screw this up. There we go. I had to jump out of cab to see which way the boom wanted to go there. Probably half a scoop, I guess. We'll fill that up, and then we'll take that down and empty it. Oh, there was one more full load in there. Wow. Okay. Now, of course, in real life, you can't swivel your head around, you know, 180 degrees, but luckily in the game you can, because, you know, again, I would probably be using my mirrors in real life, but just, you know, again, turning the graphics up just for the mirrors, it's just, to me, it's not worth it. So somebody commented, you know, you must be pretty dedicated to make 100 episodes of this, plus all your off-screen work, 10 FPS. Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm not running at 60 FPS, you know, and I never have, and I won't until I can get a new computer, you know, which is not in the financial cards at the moment, but it's not quite that bad either. You know, but again, I welcome all your comments, you know. You're certainly entitled to say whatever you'd like to say, so. And that's going to fill that up. Yep. Okay, very good. Bring that back up. Put this on the ground, and we'll go dump that. 18 minutes. See what I mean? This is what I mean about it being very difficult to keep to a 20-minute timeline doing certain jobs. It just takes a while to do certain things, and there's really not much you can do about that. You know, farming is not a quick process. So, you know, again, could I set this up with Courseplay to have, you know, Perry run back here with the, you know, run back and dump this and then come back? Sure, I could, but then I'd just be sitting there waiting anyway. So I might as well do both jobs. You know, it doesn't really make any, it doesn't make any difference time-wise. Either I'm sitting there, you know, doing nothing, or I'm at least doing something by bringing this load back and dumping it. So it is not going to be a pleasant day here on Old Ridge. Huh? It's going to be cloudy and hazy and everything. Oh well. You know, again, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I can't control the weather, so just got to work with it. Oh, easy, big girl. Easy, easy, easy. I must be hooking the trailer on the fence right there. That must be what's kicking me sideways. And then when I come over this, it must be catching the bottom of the trailer on something, because I don't remember having that problem in the past, but you know, it could be. It could be a weight issue too. You know, it could be the tractor's really heavy now. Obviously, 17.5 tons of muck in it. You know, this is a 203 or 206 horsepower or something like that. This tractor's not, you know, particularly weak by any means, but it's not really big either. So this is not a really heavy tractor considering its horsepower. And I should probably use the big case for this, but I don't know. I like this one. You know, it's got 82.1 hours on it. I use this a lot, so. As you guys may remember, I bought this back episode 40. Was it episode 40 or episode 45? You know, right, I had the big crash and the big disaster where the map broke, and, you know, I had to basically rebuild the map and everything, and I really used this for a lot of that. I did all the planting with this. I did all the, you know, the sort of harvesting and moving of stuff around with this. One of these days I'm going to learn, though, about this turn. This tractor and this tipper do not like to make this turn. Do not take down the bridge, BP. There we go. So yeah, so this tractor's seen a lot of use, and I'm glad I bought it. You know, it was I was sort of hanging on to the older equipment before that, you know, a whole disaster happened. But I'm really glad I bought this because this is a great tractor. It's a great multi-use tractor. You know, it'll do just about anything. It'll pull a plow. You know, it'll pull a big cultivator. It'll run the power harrow. You know, it may not be really happy about it, but it'll do it. I think I'm pretty well sorted with the tractors I have right now. Now, will I buy different ones at some point? I'm sure I will. But for right now, I'm pretty well sorted with the equipment that I have. So, okay, let's dump this and go back and get another load. The life of a farmer, huh? Muck, 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 and it's so much of it, but I just know I'm going to rip through it in no time flat. 157,000 liters plus, you know, 30. How much is over there? 33,000, which is of course only going to increase. So I don't know what the capacity of these piles are. I guess we'll find out. I doubt very much I'll get anywhere near, you know, full capacity on it. But if I keep moving the muck out of the main bunker over here and bringing it over there, that may get me close to whatever the capacity is, whether it's a, you know, 250,000 or whatever. I want to get this done. So if this video goes long, you know, and again, okay, you know, if you can't watch it all in one shot, I fully understand that, you know. Watch it, you know, give me a like if you like it or whatever, and then, you know, go do whatever else you need to do. I fully understand that because I do the same thing. You know, come back and watch the last bit of it when you can, you know. But I really want to get this done because I think Martin Garner had the right idea. You know, with Farm Sim, it's tough to really be that sort of rigid with a time frame, you know, with a time limit, because you're never really going to get anything done. So, and I certainly don't want to break this into 3 parts. That's just silly. So, because technically now this is episode 100, even though it's really not. Episode 100 for me is going to be a little special. I'm still trying to figure out. I know what I want to do. I just don't know if I can do it. So, you know, it's kind of balancing what I want with what I can actually do. But I do want it to be special, and I want it to be neat. So we will see, and you guys will have to stay tuned and find out if BP manages to pull it all together in the way that he wants to. I should really slow down going down this road too. The springs on this Dazor are not as good as they used to be. So. Oh, and Ian Blake, who asked me where the Yoskin tipper was, I did say it was in the potato shed at the main farm. No, that's where it is. That's where it's going to stay until I need it. You know, I don't want to put manure in it, even though it holds a lot more than the Dazor, because then I'm going to put potatoes and sugar beets in it at some point, and I don't want to have to mess with cleaning it out. If I just use the Dazor for manure, then I won't have to worry about it. This is all it'll probably ever haul. So. You know, every farmer has that one trailer that, you know, that gets relegated, maybe starts off as a grain tipper and then gets older and gets a little beat up and worn out, and gets relegated to hauling, you know, other less pleasant things, I guess. And this is mine, so. All right, let's put this right here. Set the brake. Back in the JCB, back in the cab. Of course, it would be helpful if I started the JCB. Took the brake off. There we go. Come on, start tipping. Whoa, easy. Jesus. I wonder why the edge boards on this are all tore up. Because I'm always banging the bucket off of it. That's good for it, huh? I could have actually taken those sides off and made it a little easier to tip into. But I always forget. So, plus, the bolts are all rusty and, you know, all covered in muck and everything. And I don't want to have to touch it any more than necessary. So, I think we've probably got it all out of here, but I'll just make absolutely certain. Oh, there's a little bit left. Might as well grab the last little bit, I guess. And we'll go unload the other one. All right, very good. I still have a placeable pile over there, which I can probably get rid of. They don't cost any money, so not a big deal about letting them sit there. I just think it's better to bring them all back to a central point now, so all the muck's in the same place. So I don't have to make so many trips with the spreader. And that's a load. Very good. It looks like they've got straw still, so may not have to bring any straw down, but I do have to bring them down some mixed rations. They have water. It would help if you looked up, BP, then you'd know where you are. And this thing's got pretty good visibility going up, so. Go. Every time it dumps, I get a chance to drink my coffee. All right, and out. Again with the silky smooth use of my mouse. Oh well. You know, all stuff I'm looking at. You know, when I build a new computer, I want to go. You know, I want to go full, and I want to get a joystick and the whole thing. I mean, I've already got a great steering wheel, you know. But, you know, I certainly wouldn't mind having a joystick. So I can kind of get rid of this mouse use, you know what I mean? If I had a better mouse, probably it would be better too, but to be honest, I would rather have a good joystick than a better mouse. Because I don't play a lot of other games that need, you know, that use the mouse. Space Engineers being like probably the primary one. You know, and maybe Euro Truck and ATS because I look around with it, you know. But if I was going to build a new computer and I had the money to do it, I'd probably get Track IR, so I wouldn't have to, you know, look around with the mouse quite so much. But so I'd really rather have a better joystick, you know, or a good joystick, I should say, as opposed to a, you know, a full hardcore gaming mouse. Whoa, that's not going in there. That's not going in there. That was a complete waste. Damn it. I mean, yes, I have a lot of muck, but I don't want to waste it either. Oh, I hate that. That was a whole waste of a pile right there. Darn it. That's what I get for not paying attention. Just because you have the muck, BP, doesn't mean you can waste it. Watch, that little bit will make the difference between finishing a field and not being able to finish a field. You watch. That's just my luck. There's some more in here. Why can't I pick it up? Can we jump out for a minute? Nope. Too far, too far, too far. Let's try that. Let's back up and try that again. I must have just been going too fast. I have a tendency to fly through here and try to grab it as quickly as possible. Let's try this. There we go. There we go. One more load. One more load. Okay. Let's see how much is left in here now. There's 233 in that other one. There's 0 in this one. Perfect. Very good. Let's try not to waste this load now. Get it in the tipper, at least. Don't really give myself a lot of room to back up over here, but luckily with this thing, I don't need a lot of room, being as maneuverable as it is. All right, get this in the tipper, BP. Get it in the tipper. Dumping it all over the ground again. Boom out. Actually, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm booming out too far. Yeah, I think I am, see? Up and down. There we go. There we go. At least that got in there. Bonus. Okay. Now, we can bring this whole operation back to the dairy. So I will get this guy set up on follow me, get the telehandler out in the road so he can actually follow me. That will do. Stop right there, jump out. Why was I crouching? It's not that button. Jeez. Well, another 12 tons, so okay. You know, again, it would have been more if I hadn't wasted that whole thing. You know, again, it would be cool, you know, if it, when you dumped it in a place where it wasn't, you know, supposed to go, if it made a little pile and you could just scrape it up. But, you know, okay, I'll take it. You know, it sort of makes you, it makes you go, okay, stop being an idiot, you know, and actually get it in the tipper. So. All right, let's get this guy, let's get Perry on follow me, and we will go down the road here, back to the dairy. We should probably lower that a little bit and tilt it up a little bit. There we go. Let's make this as easy on Perry as possible. I won't go make him try to maneuver around this beef shed here. $138 dairy cows. So yeah, I think I've decided on 150 as the number. I think 150 is probably the maximum I can support on this farm at the moment, you know. So we're gonna stay at 150. So once we get there, every time a new calf matures up to milking age, we're gonna sell an older cow. So you know, that way we always stay at 150. We have a fairly young herd, and we don't get run over with dairy cows. So, I mean, again, I would love to have 1,000 cows, but I just don't have the acreage to support that. So even with all the, you know, the new meadows, or not the new meadows, but the meadows that we're allowed to use again, I just don't have the acreage at the moment to support much more than that, than 150 cows. So. Oh, thank God for coffee. 6:23 in the morning on Old Ridge. As you can see, it's a little after 2 in the real world. I was up pretty early this morning in the real world, you know, doing some stuff. I was over watching David Oldfield's stream, checking out some new mods that they're testing. You know, cool one. I think it was a baler. And then, you know, stacking the bales on the trailer and, you know, stacking them, you know, like 15 high and stuff. It was fun to watch, though. I kind of miss streaming, but I just... my stream quality is so bad, you know. It's, well, that's not really true. It's not so bad. It's just not great. You know what I mean? And it's certainly not my internet. My internet's fantastic. It's just the you know, my CPU and my GPU are not really powerful enough to be able to stream at the level of quality that I'd like. How much you want to bet he's going to get stuck because I swung him in too tight? Come on. Come on. You got it. Nope, not that way. Ah, I knew it. Oh, Perry, what are you doing to me here, man? Do I have to come and rescue you every time? Every time I have to come and rescue you, huh? Okay, I will get you out of here. I hope. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, you are proper wedged in there, huh? Alright, well... that poor hedge over there has taken so much abuse. At some point, I'm going to have to replace that hedge. They're going to make me pay for it. Because I have run it over so many times trying to come around that. And I know better, but I still do it anyway. All right, are you good now? Can you follow me now? That was my own fault. You know, again, the four-wheel steering in this thing makes it a lot more maneuverable than the, you know, tractor with a tipper on it. So. But this is the quickest way to get back from the pig and beef to the dairy. So that's why I always go this way. And I need the case to hook up to the mixed wagon anyway, so. All right, now we'll get this dumped. I'll put the, well, actually, since I have the bucket on, I will grab a scoop of silage. Now, yes, I know what you're all saying. Well, you don't want to use a tipper for potatoes and sugar beets. You put manure in, but you don't have any problem using the bucket that you pick manure up with for silage. Yes, and I know I should get some silage forks, but you know what? It's just one of those expenses that I don't really want to have to make. So, all right, get you stopped. Where'd you stop? Oh, perfect. Perfect. Jump in you. Get you dumped. See what the total is here. And of course, it's not going to be the total for the year yet because I still have manure I have to move out of the other mug. So, oh, easy. Jesus. Every so often, my steering wheel catches me out. I don't run any centering spring or anything like that when I play Farm Sim. Just a tiny bit of force feedback, So sometimes I forget and I whip the wheel around, and then, as you can see, bad things happen. So yeah, that's a big old pile of muck. But won't take long to go through it. 185, 6, 7, 187,000. Okay, well, good. The more, the better, and there'll still be a little bit more coming. So get this parked up. And we will go grab the mix wagon and get that loaded up. And again, it's not going to take, I'll put my usual, 1-to-1-to-1 ratio of mixed rations in it, which makes about 11,000 liters of mixed rations. But the pig and beef aren't going to take that much, so the cows will just get the rest of it, the dairy cows. And disconnect you. Very good. Go over here. Grab the mix wagon. I wonder if my calves need straw. Probably. Oh, they probably needed milk too. Oh, and I sold all the milk. Well, maybe not though, because I think I just did that. I think I just bedded them and gave them milk, so I think they should be okay for a few days. Thank you. All right. Forward. And we'll park you. Actually, let's turn you around so I can just head straight over there afterwards. And we'll put you right there. That'll do. Stop. Thank you. And jump back into this. Grab a scoop of silage. Now I've got myself thinking, should I buy some silage forks and just use the bucket for manure? But then, of course, I need a bucket for grain. So what do? Do I have two buckets? Do I use a bucket for grain, a bucket for... nope, too much. A bucket for manure. Do I have all the multiple buckets? I don't know. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I mean, it probably is, I'm sure. Or I could use a manure fork, and then I could use, a silage fork, and then a bucket for the grain. I guess I could do it that way. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll do it that way. Maybe I'll pick up, a silage fork and a manure fork, and then use the bucket just for grain. And make it a little bit more realistic, I suppose. It's a little less than 4,000. Hopefully it's not going to be an issue. I don't think it will be, though. All right, that's that. Grab the forks. Forks, pick up the bale forks and have that little weird thing happen that tends to happen sometimes, because you think I would know better, stop leaving them in a trigger and you won't have that problem, but just more convenient to leave them here. So D, oh no, yeah, D, nope, A, enter, and on we go. Okay, very good. Run this over, run the mixed wagon over. Once this silage is done, then I'll be able to use the silage that's over there, you know, in the main pit. And it won't be quite so inconvenient to have to run back and forth. But for right now, I'd want to use the I could move that silage over, I guess, and put it in a placeable pile in sort of in front of this one. But whatever. It's not that big of a deal to me, you know. I got to cultivate this, cultivate those weeds down, as I said the last time. Probably spray some more Herbicide X, just to keep them from growing back for a few days. If we get this in the entrance, then I can just drive. Oh, I'm not going here, though. I'm not going here. Why did I... You idiot. I'm so used to having to feed the dairy cows that I forgot I'm not going to feed the dairy cows. So make sure y'all scream at the screen when I go to take off that I'm not feeding the dairy cows. I've gone through all my round bales. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I wonder if I should disable automatic loading. Oh, nope. I guess it'd be okay. Just pick up one. Oh, just pick up one. Now, unfortunately, because these are square bales, I can't pick up two at once. I can't pick up a square bale and a round bale. So. But that's fine. Lock and boom out a little bit. Drop that in there. Come on, get in there. There you go. Very good. Boom in. Back up. Now, I only want to pick up one grass bale, so I should probably disable automatic loading for now, just so I can grab one, just so it doesn't get, you know, happy and decide to grab two on me. Because I'm not going to need very much for these guys, for the pig and beef, you know, because they just don't go through very much. That will be one. Back up a little bit. Just don't make a big mess. Okay, that could have went worse. Certainly. No. Go. Geez, 42 minutes and we haven't even got down to feed him yet. Wow, crazy, huh? Well, it is what it is, you know. It's one of those things. Everything takes a while, so... And again, if you guys can't watch this all in one sitting, I fully understand that, so... Set the brake. Jump out. Make sure this is... I keep hitting control instead of shift to run. Yep, we have mixed rations. Very good. Now, because I'm an idiot, I have to back up. At least I remembered, and I'm not, you know, going to dump it in the dairy cow troughs and be like, oh, that's not where I wanted to put it, and have to go through this whole process again. That would be silly. How are my sheep doing? Oh, my sheep need grass. Damn it. Well, I can do that off screen. That's not a big deal. So, chickens are okay. Yep, I got a few eggs in a backpack I could sell. The cows are doing okay for right now. Obviously, I just fed them, so they have plenty of mixed rations, a little bit of silage. So, looks like they could use some water. I should probably fill that up. I could do that off screen too, though. I really just wanted to finish this sort of process. You know, the mucking out and the feeding of them. So. Because I realize I do this a lot. I mean, I do it every day, in real life, every day, you know, sometimes twice a day. Because as I've said, you know, Old Ridge is really becoming a persistent world now. But, oh, jeez, that hedge, that poor hedge. But I rarely ever show it on screen, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and, you know, make some mixed rations, show it on screen. You may notice that I don't give my pig and beef... you know, all the other stuff. I don't give them potatoes. I don't give them grain and all that stuff. I really only do that to get them started, you know, to get them up and producing. And then I switch them to mixed rations because it's really all they need. It's really all any animal in Farm Sim needs, aside from chicken. Well, any cow, you know, cow-based animal, which is basically what a pig is in Farm Sim, you know. Obviously, the chickens and the sheep require, you know, different things. The chickens in the vanilla game require nothing. But in, you know, the modded games where they, you know, they'll tell you what the chickens need. It's usually always wheat, you know, and most of the time it's water. This map doesn't have water for the chickens. That's fine. You know, I have no issue with that. But any cow-based animal, pig, beef, things like that, pretty much will do their maximum amount of production on mixed rations. So it just makes sense to make mixed rations for them, All right, here we go. This ought to take about 1/10 of a liter to fill these up. They weren't super low to begin with, so. It took a little bit. Yep, that's it. Okay, very good. Go get the other one. Go get the go get the pigs, and that will be that. And then I think, well, episode 100 is going to be kind of, special. It's not really going to be in the timeline so much. Well, it's not going to be in the timeline at all, actually. And again, you guys will have to stay tuned for that, and you will discover what I mean by that. Yep, that's full. And then one more episode of winter where I've got one more thing I need to do, and then it'll be spring. Probably what I will do is I will probably fast forward. I'll play as I always do, every day, and fast forward time for probably a couple of weeks, I guess, of game time, so I can use up some stuff, And then it'll be spring, and then it'll be time to do all the, the groundwork, the spraying of slurry, the spreading of manure, first cut on the grass, things like that, and hopefully I can stick to my manure plan. Hopefully I don't, completely blow it. So I'm actually going to print that map out and sort of keep it next to me so I have an idea, because I've got a couple of fields where they're kind of close to water courses, and you're not supposed to spread slurry near them at all, so or manure for that matter, because of runoff and all that sort of stuff. So I have to kind of keep an eye on that, and I want to do it. I mean, I went to all the trouble of making that plan. I want to actually follow it. So that's it. Okay. I should probably check and see if these guys need straw too. While I'm here, I won't do that on screen either. Bringing down straw bales and shredding them is, you guys have seen me do that 100 times. So no sense in me, making you sit through that. We're already closing up on 50 minutes on this episode. So, well, you gotta wait for the doors to open, BP. Jeez. All right, and that's that. They are now all set. Let's see. Straw 1443. See, they still got plenty of straw. It doesn't look like much, but it really is. So they have mixed rations, they have straw, they have water. They still have a little bit of silage left too. When I didn't have mixed rations, and I had to give them silage. So these guys are doing okay. The beef, yep, okay, very good. We will bring the rest of this mixed rations up to the dairy cows, and we'll call this an episode. And while I'm driving back, I can do my outro so that you guys, again, don't have to sit through it at the end. Oh, you know what I need? I need a screenshot, though, don't I? And I always kind of like this view right here for some reason. So let's turn all this stuff off. Turn that off. Turn this off. And we'll take the screenshot. Right there. I always like that view. I don't know why. Maybe the pylon in the background or whatever. And the fact that it's a little hazy out is not, it makes for kind of a pretty picture, I think. So as always, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. Once again, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the feedback, for the information, for the tips, you know what I mean? It means a lot to me. I'm glad you guys are still enjoying this. I'm glad you guys are, you guys were all pretty vocal about, video length and stuff. Most of you said, hey, man, make them as long as you want. We'll watch them when we can. I really appreciate that, I'm not, like I said, I don't want to stick to the 20-minute time limit so much that, and it's not to gain new subscribers, to get more views or anything like that. It's just to make it easier for you guys to watch the videos. But if you guys have no problem with the longer videos, and you have no problem, maybe watching them in steps, which I certainly do on occasion, very rarely do I ever have time to sit down and watch an hour-long video all at once. It's funny how life changes, right? You'd think, back in the day, watching an hour TV show was no big deal. Nowadays, I'm lucky if I have an hour to sit down and watch, a long video or whatever. But that certainly doesn't deter me from watching them. So however you guys need to watch them, and I appreciate your feedback and all that on that. I also greatly appreciate all the information you guys have been giving me. I've said this before. It really means a lot to me. I don't know anything. I don't know, anything. Wow, BP. I don't know everything, and I certainly don't know everything about farming. I'm not a farmer in real life. Everything I know about farming, I've either learned from the game, learned from watching real-life farming videos, or learned from watching other people play Farm Sim. And I'd like to, especially with this Let's Play, being role play based, being so long running now. I'd like to move it towards more accurate real life farming techniques as much as the game will allow me to. And I really depend on you guys for the information. Thank you for the person who told me that in Scotland you have to have 6 months worth of slurry storage. Obviously, Scotland being part of the UK, it's all the same laws. Thank you very much. That really gave me the idea to go check out the UK laws. You know what I mean? Along with Jasper's information, in his country. So I really appreciate that. You guys know I need that stuff, and thank you very much. I don't know why every so often I just get so much lag in certain areas. It's only in certain areas though. I don't know. Again, I've got so much stuff going on the map that it could be any number of things. And also thank you for all the comments, the general comments, for the likes, for the subscriptions. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I know I am. I know I'm enjoying the hell out of myself. Otherwise I would not do it. Are you emptying? You are not emptying. Where am I here? Where's the trigger? Can I... Oh, it would be helpful if I brought up my HUD. Q. Unloading. Oh, I gotta switch tip sides. Sorry. There we go. I know I wouldn't make the videos if I wasn't enjoying it. So you guys, as long as you guys keep enjoying it and I keep enjoying it, we'll keep making videos. And to all the new subscribers, thank you for coming. Please feel free to get involved. Leave your comments, leave your questions, leave your tips, your suggestions, any information you think I should know. Anything you guys want to leave on the Facebook page, Bipolar Prophet Gaming on Facebook, please feel free. Make sure you check me out on Twitter, at Bipolar Prophet. If you follow me, I'll be glad to follow you back. And also make sure you check out abcgameservers.com. It's run by some good friends of mine. And they want to offer Farming Simulator 15 dedicated servers to our community, at a decent price with great support, run by people who understand Farm Sim. I'll put a link to them in the description of this video. And as always, guys, thank you so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.